How's it going, lazy Bruce? Up, Sixkilla. Welcome back to Ever 17. Everyone is getting sick now. The kid's sick, we're sick, Coco's sick, the scientist guy's dead, everybody's getting sick. So, yeah, the kid was sleeping on the LMRI table. His results from the scan came up on the control panel's monitor. TF Blau, 2017 revision points 17. The kid's been infected with TF Blau too. How could that happen? Why? He's been with us the whole time, so why did he get... Because Coco's got it? Why and where did he get TB? I muffled to myself, finding it hard to breathe all of a sudden. Takeshi, just calm down. None of us know where he got exposed to it. Takeshi, I want you to get scanned too. Why? Just let me scan you, please. It isn't normal to start spewing blood from your nose and mouth, okay? Yeah, I know, but... I'll help. Sugumi gently took the kid off of the LMRI examination table and forcefully put me on it. Pressing down on both my shoulders, she forced me down on the table. You don't have to do that. Fine, I'll let you check me. I brushed Sugumi's hands off me. See, I'm lying down now. Okay, you. Please start the scan. Okay. You started operating the control panel. The scanner light from the laser crawled slowly up my body. After a while, the scan's finished. What's it say? My voice cracked as I asked the question. At least say something, you. The results are... You stared at the panel without moving. The results are back. You're infected too, Takeshi. Sugumi read the monitor for me. Why? Why did I catch TB? Because we came to IBF? No, that couldn't be it. I must have had it longer than that. Since getting to Limo? Maybe we're all infected. Damn it. I stood up from the LMRI and was assaulted by a terrible dizzy spell. Whoa. Takeshi, watch out. The one to steady me from falling was the kid. From the looks of it, his legs weren't very steady either. Putting my hand on a wall, I somehow held myself up. We're in trouble, huh? You can say that again. If only we had the same serum. If only we had that serum, the orange one. The kid pressed his hand onto his face. As he wiped his mouth, I noticed a thin trail of blood there. Yeah, the serum. If they've been handling TB here at IBF, they should have some of that. If we use that, then the symptoms should lessen. I went around the examination room and checked to see if I could find it anywhere. Sugumi and you hurriedly started checking through the medicine cabinets. The kid sank to the floor. He didn't look very good. His breathing was ragged. He had lines of pain etched on his face. It's no good. There doesn't look like there's any here. I can't find any either. The two of them were shaking their heads. Damn, what are we going to do? Woof woof. Hey, Pee-Pee, you seem like you're doing pretty well. Without me noticing, Pee-Pee had come up and was darting around my legs. His tail was wagging frantically. He suddenly dropped a few small objects from his mouth. Wow, wow. Hey, where'd you get that? What's wrong? Ah! You ran over to where we were. This is the orange serum. Where does the dog always find it? Is he an orange serum hunting hound? She picked up one of the fallen objects in front of Pee-Pee. It was a small capsule. A capsule with orange liquid inside of it. 4 of them had fallen on the floor. Where'd you find that, Pee-Pee? I didn't know if he understood me, but I asked Pee-Pee anyway. Pee-Pee shook his head from side to side. Were there any more of these? He shook his head. This is all of them? Woof. He nodded. Oh, we need to take these immediately. How intelligent is this dog? Was that another experiment where a human was turned into a dog? Sorry, you, but get these ready. You're the only one who knows how to give shots. I found some syringes over here, you. Okay. We gathered all the cartridges of serum from the floor and put them on the bed. Looking slightly doubtful, you prepared the syringes one at a time and gave Kid and me our shots. Whew, you can relax for a while now. Thanks, you. You're welcome. Sitting with his back against the wall, the kid gave you a thumbs up. After that, he smiled and closed his eyes. He must have fallen asleep. What do we do about Coco? She's still undergoing the oxygen treatment, so we can't open the pod. It looks as though the treatment is progressing normally. As long as she's in there, I don't think her condition will get much worse. Yeah, okay. By the way, what about you, Sugumi? Are you okay? I scanned myself earlier. I'm okay for now, but maybe I just don't have any symptoms. Looking slightly worried, Sugumi said this. Oh, you. Why don't you give Sugumi a shot? You opened another one of the containers and gave Sugumi a shot. Oh yeah, you should probably give yourself a shot too, don't you think, you? No, The next shot had already been prepared, but for some reason you was stalling. She started coughing suddenly. Hey, give yourself a shot, quickly. But I just... She wouldn't stop coughing. Her arm holding onto the syringe started to shake. Breathe deep. Her coughing finally stopped. But her hand wouldn't go still. What's wrong? You aren't feeling well? You want me to give you the shot? Huh? No way. I don't like shots. Huh? You didn't have any problems sticking everyone else. You don't like getting them yourself? Well, yeah, because they hurt. You puffed out her cheeks stubbornly. What are you talking about? Your life's on the line here. What do you do? Give me that syringe, you. Huh? I reaching out quickly, I lashed onto Yu's arm. Tsugumi, hold it down. Roger. Tsugumi forced Yu to sit on the bed and held her so she couldn't move. Hey, what are you doing? Ouch! Stop complaining. I grabbed onto Yu's arm and stuck the needle into it. Hey, what do you think you're sticking that? Where do you think you're sticking that? You got it all wrong, not there. Stop mangling me. Ow, ouch, stop. Go more slowly. Well, stop swimming around so much. The angle's all wrong. You're gonna get air bubbles in it. Stop complaining, you can't do it yourself. You suck. Shut up. Stop it, let me go, I'm dying. Ouch. You idiot. We're giving you this so you won't die. Tsugumi slumped her shoulders. You was throwing a tantrum like a spoiled child. Small droplets of red stained the bed's white sheets. After that, you got scanned on the LMRI. As suspected, she'd come down with TB. We didn't have room to mess around anymore. In the end, you wouldn't let me do it, so she ended up giving herself the shot, complaining the whole time with tears in her eyes. I'm not sure how long our condition will hold on with just one shot. Hey you, do you think we can do anything after it stops working? She was sitting at the computer terminal, silently typing on the keyboard. You, tell me what we can expect. Don't talk to me, I can't concentrate. Alright. I'm trying my best. But someone has put a lock on the communications protocol, and we can't make contact with the surface. But every once in a while, I found some communication data that's crossing through. If I can release that lock, or... well, anyway, we might just be able to get through somehow. At least, it is better than Lamu, where we had no way of making contact. Alright, show me what you got, genius. Okay. I left you for a while and went to look at the monitor attached to the capsule pod. Tsugumi came over to stand next to me and looked at the monitor. How's Coco doing? She's in serious but stable condition. Really? According to the monitor, it would be 4 hours before Coco could leave the pod. The pod was full of high pressure oxygen. We couldn't take Coco out of there until the time had come. The kid snored next to Coco's pod, frowning slightly. I couldn't say that his condition looked good. I could only pray that he would hang on a little longer. For a little while after that, my attention wandered. I don't know how much time passed. I was not sure whether things were real or a dream. Was I alive? Was I dead? I didn't know. I slept like I was dead. Was I dead? Was I sleeping? Which was it? And where was the me that was thinking about everything? If we just had a little more time, I could have gotten at that data. The terminal in the security office. We even figured out the final password. Hey, if it's from Himmel, we could copy it to a terabyte disk. That's right. Just a little more. You just have to stay alive for a little bit more. I woke from my stupor, a stale, cold feeling. I realized I'd been sleeping sprawled on the floor. I slowly raised my body. I tried opening and closing my fists. Strange. The movement left me with an uncomfortable sensation like it wasn't my own. I shook my head. I tried slapping my cheek. I breathed in the cold air and breathed out. Strange. The inside of my head stayed dull and murky. I dragged myself to consciousness, forcefully reeling myself back to clarity. Putting my hands on the floor, I pulled up my heavy, aching body. My feet faltered, but somehow I managed to stand. I looked around the infirmary. I saw several used syringes scattered on the floor. The kid was still slumped against Coco's pod. He looked disturbingly bad, just completely out of it. Tsugumi was nowhere to be seen. I wonder where she'd gone to. Yu was half slumped over the terminal console, snoring away. She looked like she was in some pain and was perspiring in her sleep. Her hand had pushed against the panel as if she'd been in the middle of typing. On the monitor, auto-repeated strands of letters were lined up without meaning. What the? I heard a strange sound. I reinserted the voice converter into my ear. There wasn't a problem with the converter. Come in? IBF-3, please respond. This is the emergency rescue team from the Maritime Defense Force. We are under the direction of Incel Null. Was I actually hearing someone's voice over the speaker? I hurried to the terminal and removed Yu's hands from it, taking over the control panel. Hello? This is IBF Infirmary, over. IBF-3, I repeat. This is the emergency rescue team from the Maritime Defense Force. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay, loud and clear. I was somehow able to force out an answer. Voices spilled out from the other end of the line. Hey, there are survivors down here. I can't believe it. That's amazing. That's what I wanted to say. It seemed like you had been able to restore the communication lines. We're sending a rescue team immediately. Can you access the pool in IBF-3? Yeah, it should be fine. Do you know how many survivors are there, and where they're located? In the examination room there are 5. No, 6. 6, I copy. A rescue team is headed there on a private sector salvage vessel. When it arrives, I want you to follow its directions and get out of there. How long until they get here? They're going as fast as they can, but it'll take about an hour. 1 hour. Coco should be able to get out of the pod by then. I just hope we have that long. But if something goes wrong, there should be a small, deep exploration submarine left in the research facility. I hate to make you do this, but I want you to escape to that area. Something goes wrong? What do you mean? Lemu's partition strength threshold is already being exceeded. If one section implodes, there's the risk that another could collapse, and sinking could ensue. If that happens, we think there's a high possibility that heavy pieces could crash down on the research facility. You don't say. Of course, we're doing everything we can to get you there, to get to you before that happens. We're heading there, so no matter what, so please, hang in a little longer. The communications cut out suddenly. Hey, wait a sec. I hit the call button repeatedly, but there was no answer. Damn it. We can't open up communications from this side. I didn't have any other choice. I began reading through the manual on the side of the communication terminal. A mini-submersible for deep sea exploration. We hadn't found it when we searched the place. Here it is. Following the instructions, I used the control panel to call up the information on the monitor. It's a small electric submersible. The submarine was in a separate sealed sector attached to IBF. The specification said it was a neutral buoyancy miniature submarine for saturation diving. The important thing was, it could be brought over to the pool by remote control. If things get dangerous, I guess they want us to board this. I quickly went about setting up the remote control program so that we could move to the submarine at a moment's notice if we had to. Alright, all we have to do now is get Tsugumi and Sora over here. Sora? How are we going to get Sora here? I was overcome by unease. And there it goes. Suddenly a low metallic crash reverberated throughout the installation. The sound seemed to come from above. An alarm sounded from the terminal and the screen changed. Warning, Lemu hull breach. Flooding. Lemu? This is bad. This means Sora and Tsugumi. I ran out into the corridor. It was only slight, but the floor was trembling. I suddenly became dizzy again. Losing my balance, I crashed into a wall. My recovery wasn't complete yet. I still gotta go. I have to go. Recovery? You don't even know if you're gonna recover. I took all my strength I could muster and headed to the pool room. Tsugumi, you been here? Thank God. Just when I headed through the watertight door, I met with Tsugumi. Takeshi, you're awake. She looked at me strangely. Yeah, Tsugumi, there's a rescue team on the way. They said it would take about an hour. I want you to wait for them in the examination room. Rescue? They said they were from the Maritime Defense Force. You was able to open up a communication line to Incel Null. To Incel Null? Tsugumi, are you okay? Yeah, that serum seems to be working, I'm fine. Okay, I want you to get back to the examination room right away. Everyone else is in bad shape, I want you to look after them. And saying that, I headed for the lift. Wait, Takeshi, where are you going? Up to Lemu. We still got an hour. I'm gonna get Sora. Wait, that's crazy! Tsugumi chased after me and grabbed onto my arm. How? Sora can't come down here from Lemu. I know. I've got to think of a way. No, wait. I already know what I've got to do. I tore myself away from her grip and tossed her aside. Don't go! Don't leave me! Don't leave me alone! Tsugumi crawled out in a tearful voice as she lay sprawled on the floor, but I didn't turn back. As soon as the door opened, I flew into the lift. The elevator headed up. Depth 270 feet, 240, 210, upwards. The elevator stopped. Forcing open the door, I slipped into the pressurization chamber. The entrance had closed automatically. I pressed on the intercom button repeatedly. Sora! Sora! Takeshi? What are you... Hey, it's been a while. I realized how much I missed that voice. I waved to Sora as she appeared outside the window. What are you doing here? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? I came back. What's the damage? It's flooding in white stock. Sora explained the situation diligently. The warehouse area has been breached and cracks are beginning to form in the elevator shaft. The situation is serious. There is over 6 inches of flooding in almost all of the corridors. That's pretty bad. What about Drite's stock? Water is coming in from the upper floors via ducts. Are you able to drain it okay? Yes, I'm doing the best I can. But flooding is only a matter of time. Well, don't worry about it. I'll be right back. No. Sora's eyes flashed from the other side of the glass. Let's decompress the chamber and follow the proper entrance protocol. Decompression? You telling me to just wait here? Yes, it's a rule. If you won't, I'm gonna have to ask you to go back to IBF. How long will it take? I'll complete it as soon as possible. I need to know how much time. If I hurry, 12 hours. 12 hours? We don't have that long. If we don't dissolve the nitrogen in your blood, you'll get decompression sickness. I don't care. Open that door now. I can't do that. Just open it now, please. Why? If we open that door now, due to rapid decompression, the nitrogen in your bloodstream will form bubbles, causing blood clots, and in the worst case, I don't care. You get that door open now. I found the emergency escape lever inside the hatch and I pulled it. I kicked the door. There was a horrible noise, as though all the air inside had exploded. My body was thrown from the room along with the high-pressure gas that had been built up inside. I was tossed like a piece of confetti, sliding and rolling along the floor all the way to the control room. My body crashed heavily against the wall. Pain racked my body, and it wasn't because I'd smacked into a wall. Although I kept spewing out my breath, I felt the air kept bubbling up in my lungs. Then came terrible exhaustion. My body felt like it was expanding. My eyes felt swollen and painful. The muscles of my limbs began to jerk and spasm. Numbness, pain, headache. I felt like I had no room to move. According to the astronomers, humans can live for a short period of time, even if they're thrown out of a spaceship into space. But fish brought quickly up from the sea. Depths to sea level die instantly because the pressure difference causes their organs to burst. So was I an astronaut or Takeshi, your voice converter? I felt a splitting pain deep in both ears. Repelled by my eardrums, the voice converter flew out of my ears. I hurriedly held both ears with the palm of my hands and knocked them, as though trying to drain water from them. I couldn't hear what Sora was screaming. All I could do was lie on the floor trying to suck in air, like a fish that had been pulled out of water. A few minutes passed. The earphones that I'd been wearing had broken in half. I got up weakly. I saw some extra voice converters on the edge of the console. I crammed them forcefully into my ears. Takeshi? Sora ran over to me with a painful expression on her face. She tried to wrap her arms around me. Even though she couldn't touch me, she was trying to help me out. Okay, I'm still alive. I stuck out my hands to the console, stood up and smiled for her. Takeshi? I could hear Sora's voice. It seemed that my eardrums hadn't burst. Why? Why did you come here? She wiped away tears and her expression darkened. Go back to IBF this instant, it's too dangerous here. And although she was crying, her face reddened with anger. I'm not going back. I came here because knowing how dangerous it would be. No, go back, please. I can't believe that you would do this. Run away, please, just go back. Flooding. I go back. Takeshi, please. If I don't save... Danger. Calm down, Sora. You're totally incoherent. I held up my hand as I spoke, hoping to calm her down. But I couldn't stop her anger. Her lips pursed, she glared at me slightly. Do you know why I'm here? Yes. I don't know. Even if I know, I can't accept it. She seemed sad and angry at the same time. Am I contradicting myself? No, I think it's pretty much common sense. But in other words, I came back from IVF because Lemuel is dangerous. You know that it is dangerous, so why won't you listen to me? Please go back to IBF. I know I should listen to you, but I can't. I knew that Lemuel was dangerous, so I couldn't just stay there at IBF where it's safe. I wonder if that's strange. You think so? It is strange, and it's self-contradictory. Because if you stay here, Takeshi, you may die. Oh. Her shoulders started shaking as she started to cry. I kept telling you not to rush to conclusions, Sora. I came here to get you. I know a way to help you. Well, I'm not sure about it yet, but if I've got a little time, I can get you to IBF with me. As if responding to my words, the floor started to shake. And soon an alarm rang from the Himmel console. What was that sound? Yep. Sora, tell me what this was. Sora's gaze wandered as she spoke to me with a pained expression. The elevator leading to IBF was destroyed with that tremor. The elevator? Was destroyed? It's no longer working. Holding back tears, she gazed down at her feet. You don't say. Trying to keep my calm, I responded to her. I was pretending to be cool, but I was actually in trouble. This is bad. I couldn't put on an act. If we couldn't go down to IBF, our escape route was really gone. Well, that throws a bit of a wrench in our plans, but hey, that's okay, right? I laughed sheepishly and scratched the tip of my nose. There really wasn't anything to do but laugh. It's certainly not alright. Not alright at all. I sprang to the Himmel console, checking once more the damage shown there. The IBF elevator wasn't moving due to a break in the shaft. Thankfully, no one was in the elevator when the accident happened. It seemed that in the IBF's case, we'd escaped damage again. She let out a deep, deep sigh. Sora stopped crying, suddenly tightening her expression and stood at attention. It's come to this. In any case, I'll think of a way to help Takeshi get out. It is my duty. She had an unassailably earnest expression. She stared directly into my eyes. Duty? I tried repeating it with my own mouth. Hey, is that really your only reason? Yes. She nodded calmly. I will definitely get you to the ground level. That was the function that was given to me. It is my task. Because I'm Sora Akanagasaki, artificial intelligence of the MMIH's system. She threw off all emotion as she said it. She's trying to trick you, man. This was Sora's proposed escape plan. There is a huge cylinder that cuts through Lamu. The elevator shaft that rises in the middle of that. If you can get through this, you can emerge on the surface of the sea. What are you talking about? Didn't the central elevator get sunk in the first flood? Yes. But the tube itself is thankfully still fine. The ocean water only came through the cracks in another area. Really? Still, even so, that tube is 103 feet high. That huge pipe is completely full of pressurized seawater. You're not telling me to swim through that? No, not that. We'll first drain the water filling the pipe. Drain it how? First we close off all the flood hatches around the tube, so that no water can get in. After we take care of that, we open the doors on the lowest part of the tube, and let all the water that is built up inside flow over to Drite's stock. Okay, let's say something like that were possible. How could I climb up that ridiculously high tube? There's no ladders or anything in that tube, is there? It is as you say. That is why I said we should drain it first. After the drainage is completely finished, we open door A. At that point, you'll go to Zweitstock's elevator tube. If you do that, as the water level rises, you will just float right up to Incel Null. At first, all the water pressure will make the level of the water swell up violently, but as you approach sea level, it will slow down. Hey Sora, can we go back to our first conversation? Yes, certainly. You said before that you would move the water to Drite's stock. So you mean, in other words, that we would entirely flood Drite's stock? Yes. What do you mean, yes? If we flood Drite's stock, the Himmel computer room will be flooded too. Yes. But you don't need to worry about me. My brain is an Incel Null. So even if all the computers inside Lamu go down, it won't extinguish me. Oh, I see. Do you need me to explain this plan again to you? No, I've got it, it's okay. The water rises up the elevator tube, I just zoom up and out with it, and I escape. Is that right? That is right. I understood the proposal. I understood it, but... no. If Himmel floods, what happens to you? Your memory, your recollections, aren't they all here? They'll be drowned. I pointed at the computers lined up next to the console. She looked down and didn't answer. No, no. No way am I going to let you take this kind of suicidal act, Sora. Ow, ow, ow! Suddenly a searing, burning pain hit my eyes. I covered my eyes frantically. What the hell was that? Fearfully I pulled away my hands and opened my eyes. Takeshi, we don't have any more time. Please do as I say. She said this without emotion. Furrowing her eyebrows, Sora glared at me. I fiddled around a bit with the RSD laser levels. And so I seared your eye. What? Wait, what? Actually, it's not something I should be able to do. But right now, I just did it somehow. It's like the limiter is being turned off. She stared at me. It was a gaze that sent chills down my spine. Hey, hey, come on now. Are you threatening me, Sora? Hurry. Hurry and do as I say. Takeshi. If I make even a tiny mistake with the laser levels, the next time I might really hurt your eyes. You think I'm lying? I'm serious. And thus Sora's plan became reality. Takeshi, you'll go to the predetermined place in White Stock and wait there. I'll let you know the timing of when you get into the tube. Until then, I'll stay here at Himmel to keep watch on Lemieux. I'll control the drainage duct and try to stop the fall. I'll try to keep the whole place going as long as I can. Even a minute, no, even a second longer. So, please Takeshi, you have to get out alive. Please promise me. I promise. I left Himmel and looked upstairs. I checked my PDA display. It showed a map of Lemieux on my escape route. Just a little bit ago, I'd installed a data linking program from Himmel's console that linked my PDA to Lemieux Center. Sora had prepared it for me. At this point, I just had to do it. It was a gamble. I reached White Stock's second floor. The hallway was flooded just like the third floor. Sora, I've come to the second floor. What should I do? Got it, Takeshi. I've checked your current location and your direction. I couldn't see her, but I could hear her voice in my ear. Please wait there for a minute. I'm going to reclose the flood hatches in the central area. Okay. A hollow sound echoed through the building. Presumably she'd blocked off the flood hatches in the flooded area. I finished closing the hatches. The White Stock elevator tube is sealed. Now then, please go into the Dolphin Carousel room and wait for your next instructions. Do you know where it is? Yeah, I know the Dolphin Carousel real well. That's where you and I rode dolphins together. That's where you showed me the art of my other self. Please hurry, Takeshi. Go straight down the hall and turn left at the end. If you can't figure it out, check your PDA map. No, I'll be alright. Defying Sora's directions, I turned left down at a nearby corner and headed toward the certain corridor. What are you doing? It's not that way. Sorry, Sora, I remembered I'd forgotten something. There's no time. Please stick to the plan. Sora's voice grew shrill. It'll only take a minute. It won't make a difference. No, we only have not even 10 minutes left. I can do this in 10 minutes. I slid into the security office. Whew. It hadn't flooded yet, and in there the machines were still going. I looked at the terminal monitor. The window that was open showed a message confirming the last entered password. I hit enter. Will Commoner LMMIH login TY. Oh, TY. That's Coco's dad, right? The manager exclusive maintenance mode was in operation. In other words, we cleared all of MMIH's security. The terminal in the security office. I finally figured out the password. Yu's voice, which I'd heard through my stupor, had been right. Yu had made it in the nick of time. Next time I see her, I'm buying her a fantastic dinner. Alone, I began quickly searching for a way to back up the data. I wondered what I should do. I opened the menu on the monitor. I didn't know how to work it, and I would need a disk to copy the data. Takeshi? Whoa. All of a sudden, Sora's voice thundered right in my ear. What are you doing? Hurry! Hurry! I know. 7 minutes left. Damn. It was no good. I couldn't figure it out. Giving up, I left the room. Really? Just gonna give up? The corridor outside the room had been drained, and the flood hatches had been closed again. Please don't make any detours. She spoke in a troubled, exhausted voice. Alright. I turned around to see the corridor on the other side was open. This way? Yes, 6 minutes left. Take the corridor and get to the right position. All the side routes were closed off. I'd have to head toward the Dolphin Carousel. Look, Sora, I'm here. I spoke with bitterness in my voice. Understood and confirmed. Now then. I'm going to drain the water from the central area to Drite. No. I didn't make it in time. 5 minutes until the tube is operational. Please be ready to move at any time. Sora spoke coldly, still invisible. I was in front of the dolphins. The dolphins had been so pleasant and smiling before. Now they were hateful. Sora, won't you come over here? You like dolphins, right? I can't. If I don't concentrate, I might make a mistake. Don't say that, come on. Don't you want to ride the dolphins again together one last time? Please don't speak to me, you'll distract me. Even after Drite's stock is flooded, Himmel should be alright for a little while. I'll make sure that we definitely, no absolutely, hang on until you make it to the top. It's nearly time to part. So this is it. Was there no way I could save Sora? The 5 minutes passed quickly, mercilessly. I closed my eyes, plugged my ears. I didn't want to see anything else. I didn't want to hear anything else. If I couldn't save her, it was better for us to throw our bodies from a cliff. Takeshi? I'm sorry, Takeshi. What? Even with my eyes closed, she was definitely there. I was hearing her voice from inside my ears. What's the matter, Sora? The 5 minutes should be up. Well, you see, actually, through my voice converter, I could hear Sora's troubled voice. The door won't open. What? The central area's flooded hatches aren't receiving the open signal. Something's been disconnected. Disconnected? Yes, but I found the damaged section. I'm so sorry, but Takeshi, will you go fix it? Of course, no problem. Heaven, fate, they were on my side. They'd not abandoned me. I ran out of the room. Sora opened the doors, blocking my way. Where's the disconnection? 3T stock near the control room. Alright, I'll go right there. Down, down, run, run, run. In reality, my body was probably racked with decompression sickness and riddled with TB. But it wasn't something I was aware of. More importantly, I had to move. Faster and faster. Hurry there. Falling again and again, covered in bruises, slipping down the stairs, I headed for the 3rd floor. I'm here, Sora. Thank you. Her voice resonated gently in my ear. Now then, where's the place? Hey wait, what about the tools? Can I fix it with just my hands? There are some simple tools in the control room. The main repair room is under the floor of the hallway that you're in. Under the floor? In any case, let's hurry. I'm going to apply pressure and blast out the floor panel. For now, hide in the control room. What? 5, 4, 3... Hey, wait! 2, 1... I wrenched open the control room door and sprang inside in the nick of time. As I flew through the air, a blue-white light beamed through the entire corridor behind me. 1 second later and I would have been fried. Sora! What the hell, are you trying to kill me? Oh, I'm sorry. From the sound of her voice, I could picture just how flustered she was. Sorry. Forgive me. I'm so sorry. I just lost my wits. Her voice gradually grew smaller. Okay, you don't have to feel so bad, I'm fine. You just scared the crap out of me, that's all. I'm alright, look fine, look. See? I'm alive and everything. Alright. You can't kill me off that easy, I still got things to do. Yes. So you calm down, okay, Sora? Yes, I will. I had to hurry. That much was clear. But calmly, rationally, carefully. I looked slowly around the room. Next to the console there was a small toolbox. It held radio pincers, nippers, and a screwdriver. I wondered if it would be enough. I looked around a little more. I caught sight of a polycarbonate disc in a square case. I put it in my empty pocket. Clutching the toolbox, I left the room. Sora, there's something wrong with the lights. It does seem that way. It seems... What are you... Hey, damn, I'm going back to the hall. But you aren't going to blast me again, eh? Suddenly remembering, I hopped around the corridor. It's alright, I blocked the underground circuits to that section. That's probably why the ceiling lights are acting strange. Got it. I was relieved to hear that. So where do I need to fix? Nearby, there should be a place where the floorboards have come up. The blast succeeded at that. Which way? Which way from my perspective? I'm sorry, that's the thing. Sora, what's wrong? The biosensor is down, I'm unable to tell where you are. The camera isn't functioning either. Because you do crazy stuff like short out high voltage. I'm sorry. I heard her sigh. I sighed along with her. The place is 51 feet away from the door to the control room, to the left. Alright, I'll find it myself, don't worry. I had room for one more sigh. Surely I could find one stupid, lousy floorboard. I took the toolbox to the hole in the floor and crouched down. Pushing aside the nearby water, I searched with my hand under the floor for wiring. A cable about the size of a water pipe hose was attached to the connector. The cable was twisted in places, and I could tell the connector was bent. I cut it with my nippers, dug out the copper wire with my pliers, replaced the connector and reattached the cable. I think I fixed it. What do you think, Sora? Will it go through? Yes, probably. That's good. Well, Takeshi? I'll begin operations for your escape. Please go back to this white stock. Okay, right away. Yes, I'll be praying for your safety and a successful escape. Takeshi? Where are you, Takeshi? I can't monitor you with the bioscan. Where'd you go from the corridor in Drite stock? I can't see traces of you on the emergency stairs. Please tell me your location, Takeshi. I'm right here, Sora. Wait, what are you doing here? She looked thunderstruck. Sora, you really need to learn more about hide and seek. I tried to say it lightly. When we play Kick the Can, you hid in a place where you get found right away. What are you talking about? Even if you can't monitor me with the bioscan, you could listen to the sounds. That is, if you want to find out where I was, right? Well, you made it easy for me to come back here without being discovered. I didn't know what I'd do if you wouldn't let me in the room. Stop fooling around, she yelled. We've got one last shot at this escape plan and Lemur is reaching its limit. We're way past its limits. Yes, that's right, which is why... Do you really think I could leave you here? Do you know why I came back here from my BF? But... Hesitating, she turned her gaze away from me. Please go back to this white. No. I opened all the floodgates in Drite Stock's passageway. I can't. Please go back to this white immediately, Takeshi. Just hurry up and open them. I can't. If I open the doors, Drite stock will be completely flooded. Everything outside of Himmel will be covered in seawater. If I do that, you'll never again be able to... If you won't open them, I'll open them by hand. I grab Himmel's console. Forget it, you can't control things from there. That's a lie. You're lying. Right now, the MMIH is in System Administrator Only Maintenance mode. From the big terminal, you can control all of Lemo. Sora Akanagasaki can't override the System Admin's authority. I wasn't sure, but I said it anyway. This was a huge risk. I touched the panel and hit the keys. I didn't know how to operate it, but something came out that looked about right. Takeshi, stop this, please. She glared at me. If you don't hurry, the central area will collapse. You have to get out of here. I selected the command to open all the flood hatches in the corridors and hit enter. Stop it, don't move! Takeshi, if you do any more this time, I swear I'll use the laser and burn your retinas off. I covered both of my eyes with the palm of one hand. I couldn't see Sora. I immediately pressed the enter key with my other hand. Ow, that's hot. The smell of burned hair from the hand I'd used to shield my eye filled the air. I blew on my hand, trying futilely to cool it down. You scared the heck out of me. Don't do this, Sora. No, Takeshi, you don't do this. You've really done it. The floor started shaking. I couldn't stay on my feet with the violent shaking. I wobbled as I moved, but I swiftly ran to the entrance of Himmel. I tried to close the heavy door with the full force of my weight. Damn, but my hands wouldn't move like I wanted. I suddenly felt terribly dizzy, a burning sensation in my chest, and collapsed to the floor. My hand slipped. I couldn't stand up. In this crucial moment, my condition couldn't have been worse. Takeshi? Hang on tight. I'm okay. But I wasn't. A terrible fatigue and sluggishness struck me. A flow of dirty water had swallowed the path to Himmel and was on the verge of reaching the ceiling. Now I've got to get this door closed, but my hand couldn't reach the lever. My sight was fading and my body was shaking. Takeshi, no. We can't any longer. We won't make it. The stream of water became a giant snake, raging as it approached. Come on, you bastard water, bring it. I screamed back over my shoulder. Trying to cover Sora, I put my back against the open door to Himmel. I was determined to block the entrance. I was going to fight it off. I wasn't going to run away. I would save her no matter what. Just then, I heard a terrifying roar behind me. The watertight door had been sealed shut by compressed air from the water pressure. Seawater pounded against the door again and again, like a stampeding herd of wild animals, but the sound was coming from far away. Takeshi? Takeshi? Okay, I can hear you. I had a ringing in my ears. How long will it hold? I don't know. The door behind you was locked. You were shut in. Thanks. In order to delay the destruction of Lemo, I'm releasing all the watertight doors at Drite stock. Drite stock had been flooded entirely. Its structural integrity is failing. I see. Thanks. On the other side of the door was 6 atmospheres of pressure. The walls on all 4 sides of the room I was in had already surpassed their limits, but luckily there was still power somehow. Emergency power must have kicked in. The lights went slightly dim. Takeshi? Sora bit on her lip. Please don't. Don't thank me. I was only... Something gleamed in the dark. Her silhouette. Sora was staring at me. Her tears fell quietly. They sparkled, then disappeared. Listen, what shall I do? Tell me. I reached out to catch the tears. The grain of the light winked and disappeared in an instant. The light disappeared as it reached my hands. Don't worry. You're doing fine. Don't do anything, Sora. I wouldn't erase it. I couldn't afford to lose her. I opened my eyes as wide as I could and tried to burn her image into my mind. Listen, the main thing is that you are safe. My eyelids were becoming heavier. Before I could even ask her if she could forgive me, I collapsed, pitching forward onto the floor, and fell into a deep sleep. A soft warmness surrounded me. Light. I felt it overcome an immense distance. The end of darkness. A soft white light surrounded me. There was nothing else for me to look at. There was nothing below me, nothing there to support me. But for some reason I was at peace. I was floating. Floating steadfast. I was swaying freely in the center. In the center of a gently drifting water, I could hear something faintly. The first sound I'd heard in my life. Yes, it was the sound of a heart beating. I remembered. I was surrounded by the gentle sound of a beating heart. There was no greater feeling of peace than what I felt then. How long would I be able to stay there? I didn't know. I knew that I would have to leave this place at some point. I'd have to let go of that fragile bond soon. But I wasn't sad. If that time must come, darkness cleared again, and out of it would come a new world, where I would resolve to be reborn. We're still here. Good morning. I woke with the warmth of the... Wait, we're blue. Our writing is blue now. Isn't that kids? Are we kid now? I woke with the warmth of the light. I was sleeping on a cold floor. Sora was floating right in front of me. It was like a dream, yet it was not a dream. It felt strange. What is going on? Oh, I think we're back to green again. That was weird. Morning. Good morning. It's such a fantastic word, isn't it? Yes. It makes me feel like I need to get up and get to work. That's right. Sora smiled softly. What time is it? I don't know. Seems like the timer is broken. Oh. I took my PDA from my pocket and pressed the button to turn it on. The battery was dead. Nothing showed on the screen. Seems we haven't lost all way to tell the time, have we? We've lost all way to tell the time, haven't we? Yeah. The connection between myself and the terminals that let MMIH has been severed just a little while ago, and all of the sensors in Lamu itself are no longer operational. But according to my previous calculations, we can expect this area to hold out another... Stop. I put my hand in front of Sora's mouth, and then slowly let my hand fall. Time doesn't matter anymore. I don't need to know. There's no need to worry about it anymore. Yes, you're right. It may have been difficult for someone as conscientious as Sora to just stop thinking. Still, Sora smiled for me. She looked around, and then spoke as if she just remembered something. Oh, some good news arrived while you were sleeping, Takeshi. Good news? I discovered that communications were still operating in IBF, so I analysed the weak signals going through the outer wall of Lamu. According to my results, everyone on IBF was rescued by a salvage vessel and made it safely to Incel Null. Wow, that's great news. I realised just how much I was worried about them. I looked up at the ceiling. They were all there. You, Tsugumi, Coco, the kid. I couldn't see them, of course, but I knew somehow. As if she understood what I was thinking, Sora looked up at the ceiling, her face smiling compassionately. I looked back. She looked at me, straight into my eyes. Deep within her pupils was a faint light shining. Takeshi, why did you come back here? Sora murmured quietly in the darkness. The only light to illuminate us was coming from the emergency lights. Her tone was peaceful. Would you tell me the real reason one more time? A calm smile spread across her lips. Sora was holding back tears that threatened to burst forth at any moment. Right, I'll tell you. I have someone that I want to protect, even if it costs me my life. She isn't something tangible. Other people may think that I'm stupid, but to me, she was the most valuable thing in the world. I may not be able to see her with my eyes closed. I may not be able to hear her if I plug my ears, but that doesn't mean that she'll disappear. I know she still exists, and I realize just how important she is to me. Yes, she nodded quietly. Well now, using my hands to support me, I got up. I forgot I had some unfinished business. I went over to the Himmel console. Unfinished business? What do you mean? She smiled softly and said, Is MMIH still in maintenance mode? Yes, but none of the functions related to Lamu are operational any longer. Well, it doesn't matter. Which pocket was it? I finally found what I was looking for and dug it out of my pocket. It was the case holding the polycarbonate disc that I'd taken from the control room earlier. Is that a terabyte disc? That's right. I nodded and inserted the terabyte disc into the console disk drive. I hit the necessary keys. With the little knowledge I had, I needed to find the file. LMRSDS 4913A Sora Akanagasaki. I chose copy to disk from the menu. There was no guarantee that this would be successful, but I was going to try. I felt I'd probably exhausted my allotment of luck in life, but it was worth a shot. If something malfunctioned or there wasn't enough space on the disk, we were finished. I thought it was probably the last gamble of my lifetime. Keep it simple. I hit the enter key and the data began copying. Sora, remember to shout, keep it simple, when you hit a button. Yes, Professor. Sora smiled shyly. We stared at the console monitor. The copy slowly progressed. All of her memories were being burned onto the disk. Professor, about my homework. Sora murmured as she looked at the monitor. Homework? Did I give you homework? No, we students did it voluntarily. Would you please listen? Yes, of course, fire away. I realized the reason why I was born. I was meant to be just like any other human. I was born to fall in love, That's why I'm truly happy now. Because I know what love is now. And love is... It doesn't matter if your method is primitive. It isn't necessary to seek a meaning for it or an objective. The only thing you need to do is to love. Just that and nothing else. That's what I realized. Really? Sora brought her face close to mine, and she brought her lips near my cheek. Takeshi, I love you. I'm so grateful to be in love with you. I touched my cheek where she kissed. I felt a gentle warmth there. Was it the afterglow of her lips? Or was my cheek simply blushing? There have been times when I've disliked you. I've even hated you too. But even with all of that, I love every bit of you. Whatever I'm going through, all it takes is to think of you, and I'm so happy. She was strong. Her mind and heart had grown so much stronger in the past few days. Match the maturity of her age, or more likely, transcending it. Sora? The disc continued to copy, her memory being etched onto its surface. It was being etched onto me, too. What do you want to do when you get out of here? What? It was an empty wish. We knew it was impossible. But it didn't feel strange to be talking about it with Sora. Sora, who really existed in front of me. If I could get out of here, well... I would like to travel the world. She winked and smiled. And if I could, I'd like to go on a date with you. I'd go out with you for about 2 or 3 years, then get married at the age of 26 or 27. That's what young ladies hope for, isn't it? Isn't that right? Sora became a little blurry. Yes, that's right. My eyes misted over. I was having difficulty seeing clearly. Was it an RSD malfunction? Or perhaps I was short of oxygen? No, that wasn't it. No. Sora? You know the legend of Pygmalion? I was crying, the tears were falling down my face. Sora's figure wavered. He was the master sculptor in Greek myths. He'd been called the King of Cyprus. One day he created a beautiful sculpture of the woman of his dreams, and because it was so beautiful he fell in love with the statue. He kept on thinking to himself, if only it were a real woman. Aphrodite, the goddess of love, took pity on him and brought his sculpture to life. They married and even had children. Yes, I don't think I'll ever be the King of Cyprus, but I love you more than anyone. I reached out for her. I brought her face to mine and kissed her on the lips. I ran my fingers through her hair. Her hair fell through my fingers as if it were a stream of silk. I could even sense a sweet smell. Even though I couldn't touch her, it was real. The console spit the terabyte disk out. Copy complete. There was no guarantee that the procedure had been a success. All of the data about Sora were in front of me. All the images Sora had seen, the sounds she had heard, things she had felt and thought. Every strand of her memory was written on that disk. Memory. What was memory? I wondered. What if I put the contents of this terabyte disk into the Sora at Incel Null? Would they make her just like the Sora I knew? Takeshi? Hey, what can I do for you? Every time I played the fool, it never failed to make her laugh. We were holding back tears which threatened to spill down our faces. I suppose that what we just talked about while the disk was copying won't be on that disk. It's kinda too bad. Nah, the memory's right here. I pointed to my head. I will remember. And the next time that we meet, I'll tell you about it. Really? Okay, let's promise then. Alright, it's a promise. We crossed our hearts. Promise. Then, would that promise be fulfilled? I didn't know. But I didn't have to know. The mind's not as simple as black or white. Soon Himmel began to shake. Large cracks ran down the walls. Through the holes, a large amount of mist spurted into the room. Heaven had finally cracked open. The mist quickly became raging streams and soon water was filling the room. I squeezed the terabyte disk into my pocket and stood in front of Sora. The water had gone higher than my ankles, past my knees, and it was almost reaching my waist. But for some reason I didn't feel any fear. It's a promise. It's gonna be okay, Sora. I won't die. It was just like the time that we stood facing each other through the glass window. Sora and I put our hands together. If miracles truly do exist, then that was surely a miracle. I could sense everything about Sora. Takeshi, thank you. I couldn't help it and embraced Sora. The warmth of her hands, the softness of her skin, her smell, her breath, her heartbeat, her memory, her existence. I swore I wouldn't forget. I swore I would never, in all eternity, forget. All around us was a world of deep, deep blue. We embraced in the cold seawater and became one. My body began to float gently in one place, where the heavens and the oceans fused into one. And that's it. I'm pretty sure that's the good ending for Sora, right? I hope I didn't mess it up. I might have to check. This time the door opened. Every other time it said the door stayed closed or whatever. We opened it this time. That was a sad ending though. I guess she'll survive on that disc though. Life reading 1, but we're dead, aren't we? And the whole place has been destroyed. Alright, well, that's Sora's ending. I'll let the credits roll and then we'll wrap it up after we get the post-credit sequence. And then in the next one we're going to be jumping in for Tsugumi's ending, which will be a skip forward one because we'll just be doing the Tsugumi specific bits from that same run that we just did for Sora. And then the ending, of course, so we'll probably get it done in 2 or 3 episodes, rather than a big long one like this one was. And then, of course, we've got the true ending, or the Coco ending, I believe, at the very end. Although, I feel like there might be 2 different ways of doing that as well, depending on whether you're the kid or Takeshi. I don't really know if that makes a difference. We'll figure it out. Anyway, for the next one, Tsugumi,